No, it's really important.
Cities unnecessary risk, and worse than that, changes the rules of the war. Now, we're not fighting.
Welcome. My name is Deborah Burlingame. My brother was Charles Chick Burlingame, the pilot of American Airlines Flight 77, which crashed at the Pentagon on September 11, 2001. I am one of the co-founders of the campaign we formally announced today, 9/11 Never Forget Us, whose mission is to stop President Obama, Attorney General Eric Holder, and members of Congress from bringing sworn enemies of the United States into this country, and from bringing war criminals captured on the battlefield, lawfully held as war detainees, into civilian court. It doesn't have to happen. Now I'd like to turn the microphone over to Congressman Pete King. He is from the 3rd District right here in New York. He is a member of, the ranking member of the House Homeland Security Committee and a member of the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. I'd also like to say that Pete King is a man who has been with us since from day one on 9/11 with the first responders and their families and our military. He is an independent guy who is a voice of reason and common sense, and I like to think that he doesn't represent simply New Yorkers, but all of America. Here's Pete.
Thank you very much, Deborah, and let me thank you and Tim Brown for all the work you've put in organizing this. Let me thank Andy McCarthy, who's going to be speaking, resident scholar on this issue and who has been on the front lines of fighting jihad in the courtrooms, and also Peter Regan and his family, who have gone through so much, and all the organizations who are here today. The Obama-Holder decision to grant civilian rights to Guantanamo detainees is perhaps the most dangerous decision any president and any attorney general have ever made. This is a decision that has no basis in logic, law, or morality. We are changing the rules of the war. We are now saying that those captured as enemy combatants in the battlefield are entitled to civilian due process. They are in many ways entitled to more rights than our own soldiers would be. We are going to be opening up so many avenues for terrorists as far as giving them access to our intelligence, allowing them to use the courtroom as a forum, and of course putting incredible, undue stress and strain and raising the level of security here in the city of New York at cost, as Deborah said, tens and tens of millions of dollars. This is part of a pattern by this administration when it comes to not fighting the war in the right way against terrorism. It starts with ordering the closure of Guantanamo. It starts with the talk of prosecuting and investigating the CIA interrogators, the men and women who kept us safe for all these 8 years. And now this decision to bring Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and others to New York by not putting them on trial before military tribunals is conferring a constitutional status on them which they don't deserve, which is going to be very harmful to the United States. But again, to me, the largest issue of all, despite all the others, is the fact that we have now gone back to September 10th. We have said that we are going to treat this as a law enforcement issue, not as a matter of war. These enemy combatants are entitled to none of these rights. And I say, well, what is the soldier going to do in Afghanistan? Capture someone in Al-Qaeda, knowing that an attack may be imminent, knowing that that person may know where bin Laden is. Is he allowed to question him? Is he allowed to interrogate him? Does he have to read him his rights? Does he have to make sure that all the evidence is carefully put together so that somewhere in the future he can be put on trial here in the Southern District of New York or the Northern District of Virginia or wherever? This is, again, an administration which has turned its back, I believe, effective fighting the war against terrorism. It's taken us back to September 10th. When we think back to September 10th, remember what happened on September 11th. We said we would never go through that again. We would never repeat those mistakes. Unfortunately, I believe we are mistaking them more and more and more. So with that, I discourage everyone to be at the rally on December 5th to let the Attorney General and the President know, to let them know clearly and without any doubt at all that New York and the nation are opposed to these trials. We're opposed to the status they are conferring on the mass murderers of our generation. And with that, I want to thank everyone who's here today and everyone who I know is going to be here on December 5th. Thank you all. God bless you.
And now I'd like to introduce a very important guy. He's a co-founder of 9/11 Never Forget Us, the coalition. Tim Brown was a FDNY firefighter who responded on September 11th with Rescue 3 from the Bronx. He also, now that he's no longer with the department, started thebravest.com, which is a very popular place and supported by firefighters all over the United States who are supporting us through this effort. I'd like to introduce Tim Brown.
I was in Tower 1, in the lobby of Tower 1, immediately after it was hit by the first plane. At that time, we knew that we knew there was a big accident. We weren't so sure that it was done on purpose. But I'll tell you what, when that second plane came into the second tower, and Chief Donald Burns and myself went from the lobby of Tower 1 to the lobby of Tower 2, we looked at each other, and we both said, we are at war. We knew that at that moment that this was a war. Chief Burns was a hero who gave his life that day. And he said the words that people are trying to change now. This is a war on terror. We are at war, and to bring the barbarians into our court system makes me sick to my stomach. I am very honored to introduce our next speaker. I had the honor of working with his dad, firefighter Donald Regan of Rescue Company 3, a good man who was killed on September 11th. His son Peter has made quite a young man of himself, of which his dad would be very, very proud. Peter is a New York City firefighter now, following in his dad's footsteps. He is a two-tour United States Marine veteran. In 2003, he was with Kilo Company, 3rd Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment. He went into the fire department in 2004, and then he was brought back in for duty with the Marines in 2005 with the 3rd Battalion, 2nd Marine Regiment. He is an active New York City firefighter and a very smart young man, and I am honored to introduce him.
I'm here today to express my opinion on this administration's recent decision to hold terrorists from a foreign land in the civilian court of law of the United States of America. I am an American. I'm a United States Marine, New York City firefighter, and sadly the son of a New York City firefighter killed on September 11th. As an American, I believe in the Constitution of the United States. I believe that it is reserved for American citizens, that the rights of Americans aren't handed out freely to people with destructive ideology. The rights which have been fought for and protected by Americans for Americans cannot be gifted to people who seek the destruction of this nation.
This is the defining issue of our generation, whether we survive as a civilization. No issue can be more important than that. We have to be outspoken, not be apologetic. We have to be heard, speak as loudly and clearly as we can.